The human body is a complex structure of many body parts performing their unique and special functions. Some of our body parts are not useful for us, such as small toe finger and the appendix. You might have heard about a person with 11 or 12 fingers. But few people have born with extra head, hands, extra legs, or extra private parts. So today, I'm going to tell you about people who have extra body parts. 1. The boy with 4 extra limbs. Deepak was born with extra limbs, including 2 very long legs coming out of his chest. Some people in his village thought he was a devil, while others believed he was a reincarnation of the Hindu god Vishnu. But Deepak got to show everyone that he was just an ordinary little boy when a hospital in Bangalore offered to do the $78,000 surgery to remove the limbs for free. Now, he is free to live the rest of his life the way he always wanted to, and there are no extra limbs to get in his way. 2. The man with 2 hearts. This Italian man wasn't born with 2 hearts, he got an extra one during a surgery many years ago. The 71-year-old was admitted to the hospital due to what was thought to be a typical cardiac arrest case, but doctors soon discovered that his situation was very different from anything they'd seen before. As it turns out, the man had acquired his second heart during a heterotopic transplant, meaning that the patient's original heart was merged with his new, healthier heart. The surgery went well. Too well, in fact. The man had developed 2 independent heart rhythms, and both organs actually stopped when doctors tried to administer drugs to try to get their rhythms to work in sync again. But luckily, a defibrillator helped restart both hearts, and the man was able to go back to his normal life. 3. The girl with a fetus on her back. When Yin Xin of China was born, doctors noticed something unusual. The girl had an underdeveloped fetus growing on her back. It started out as just an arm, but as the girl has grown, so has the fetus. It started to take on a more human shape, with evidence of a breast and fingers starting to appear as Xin reached 11 years of age. Her parents finally saved up the money to remove the fetus, and the girl is supposedly living life without the extra twin today. 4. The woman with a nipple on her foot. The presence of a tiny extra nipple isn't entirely unheard of. Celebrities Lily Allen and Mark Wahlberg are pretty proud of theirs, and many people don't even realize they have one because they look so much like moles. But one woman has outdone them all by growing a very large nipple, about 2 inches wide, on the sole of her foot. She says it doesn't cause her any pain or annoyance, but I can imagine it would be a pretty big surprise for her pedicurist. 5. The girl with 8 limbs. When Lakshmi was born, many people in her village believed she was a goddess. But the poor little girl couldn't walk, sit, or stand, and it looked like she would have to spend her life completely immobile. Recently, though, a team of doctors helped remove all of Lakshmi's extra limbs, which were actually the result of a parasitic twin that stopped developing in the womb. The girl still has a long road ahead of her. She has scoliosis and will need surgery to repair all the internal damage that was caused by the removal of the twin. But she's leading a much more normal life than she and her parents could have ever dared to hope for. 6. The boy with 31 fingers and toes. A boy in China with 16 toes and 15 fingers underwent surgery in 2010 to have all the extra digits removed and is now living a normal life. 4 of the fingers on one of his hand and 3 fingers on the other had actually been fused together, but now the extra ones have been separated and removed. He was once bullied incessantly at school for his condition, but now it seems he will be able to live the life of a normal schoolboy. 7. The baby with an extra head. When Manar was born, doctors and her mother were shocked to see that she had a twin. But the other baby wasn't what you'd expect to see. The twin, whom the mother named Islam, was only a head. She had her own brain and could blink and make facial expressions separate from Manar's, but sadly, she couldn't survive on her own. Doctors made the decision to separate Islam from Manar, at the cost of the underdeveloped baby's life, so that Manar could go on to live happily and healthily. Tragically, Manar also passed away from a brain infection just before she turned 2 years old, but she and Islam will go down in history as truly amazing babies. 8. The woman with horns. It's not too uncommon for senior citizens to develop spots of compacted keratin if they've had a lot of sun exposure throughout their lives, but it is uncommon for them to grow horns as a result of it. Zhang Ruofang was 100 years old when she sprouted a horn on one side of her head. It started out as a small spot made of the same material as hair or fingernails, but it eventually grew to be over 2 inches long. Soon enough, she also developed another spot of the same stuff on the other side of her head, and she stated that she was looking forward to the other one growing so they could match. 9. The women who share 3 legs. Ganga and Jamuna Mandal are conjoined twins who between them have 4 arms and 3 legs. They share a stomach, but have separate kidneys, livers, and hearts. They earned a living by performing in a circus. Now 45 years old, they recently found love with a teacher named Ahmad. Their boyfriend works part-time at the circus as a sound engineer. They're all aware that they make for an odd trio, but their love has truly conquered all. 10. The girl who was born pregnant. A baby girl in China is one of 200 babies ever to have been born pregnant. Doctors discovered that the girl had 2 abnormal growths in her stomach, which turned out to be 2 underdeveloped fetuses. What likely happened is that the baby had absorbed the growths while still developing in the womb herself. Both of the twins were removed when the girl was 3 weeks old, and all signs point to her having a perfectly normal life now that she doesn't have them in her body anymore. So people like this are very rare. So they can be called special people. But sometimes they get embarrassed. But we have to treat people like that well. Anyway, what do you think about this video?